Emma Hart lived what most people would call a perfect life. She had a stable job as a marketing manager, a cozy house in the suburbs, and a husband, Daniel, who adored her. They had been married for 8 years, a milestone many of their friends envied. Yet, somewhere deep within, Emma felt a void she couldn't quite explain. The routine of her life, though comfortable, had grown stale. One ordinary Tuesday, while waiting for her morning coffee at a local cafe, Emma met Ryan. He was charming, with a crooked smile and warm brown eyes. A graphic designer freelancing for a startup, Ryan radiated energy Emma hadn't felt in years. Their conversation started innocently. He complimented her taste in books when he noticed the novel in her hand. They laughed about the long line at the cafe, and before Emma realized, she was exchanging numbers with him under the guise of networking. It began with texts, light-hearted, casual exchanges about books, movies, and work frustrations. But soon, the messages became more frequent, more personal. Ryan had a way of making Emma feel seen, a feeling she hadn't realized she missed. One evening, after a particularly heated argument with Daniel about his long work hours, Emma found herself messaging Ryan. Within minutes, he responded, suggesting they meet for a drink. She hesitated but ultimately agreed. That night marked the beginning of their affair. Their meetings were sporadic but intense. They'd sneak away to quiet corners of the city, a secluded park bench, a hidden booth in a dimly lit bar, or occasionally, his small studio apartment. With Ryan, Emma felt alive. He listened to her dreams and fears without judgment, something she hadn't felt from Daniel in years. But the guilt weighed heavily on her. Every time she returned home to Daniel, who greeted her with his usual smile and a kiss on the cheek, she felt like she was crumbling inside. She noticed the little things Daniel did for her, leaving her favorite tea on the counter, warming her car on cold mornings, or folding her laundry while she worked late. The realization of his unwavering love only deepened her guilt. The breaking point came one rainy evening. Emma had planned to meet Ryan at their usual spot, but as she stood under her umbrella, watching the raindrops dance on the pavement, she saw Daniel's car pull up. He stepped out, soaked from the rain, holding a bouquet of her favorite lilies. "Emma," he began, his voice breaking, "I followed you. I didn't want to believe it, but I had to know." Her heart sank. She tried to explain, to justify her actions, but the words felt hollow. Daniel's face was a mixture of heartbreak and disbelief. He dropped the flowers on the ground, their vibrant colors muted against the wet asphalt. "I thought we were happy," he whispered. "Was it something I did? Was I not enough?" Emma shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "It wasn't you, Daniel. It was me. I felt lost, and I didn't know how to tell you." Daniel took a step back, his expression hardening. "You should have talked to me, Emma. We could have fixed this. But now," he paused, looking away, "I don't think we can." Ryan arrived moments later, oblivious to the storm brewing. When he saw Daniel, the tension was palpable. Emma, caught between the two men, realized the full weight of her choices. She had hurt the man who had stood by her through everything and shattered the trust that took years to build. In the weeks that followed, Daniel moved out, leaving the house they had shared. Emma tried to salvage her relationship with Ryan, but the thrill they once shared had faded. What had seemed exciting now felt tainted by the pain it caused. Ryan, sensing her distance, eventually ended things, leaving Emma alone with her thoughts. The house grew quiet, the walls echoing with memories of laughter and love. Emma spent her days replaying moments in her mind, wondering where it had all gone wrong. She tried reaching out to Daniel, hoping for forgiveness, but his silence spoke louder than words. Months turned into a year. Emma saw Daniel once, in a cafe, smiling with a woman who wasn't her. She watched from a distance, her heart heavy but accepting. He deserved happiness, even if it wasn't with her. As Emma walked back to her empty house that evening, she realized some choices leave scars that time can't heal. And for the first time, she understood what it truly meant to lose everything that mattered.